everyone, welcome back for another video and another movie review. And today is 13th December 2021, and today is actually a 30th anniversary of one of my favorite movies of all time. Today I'm going to discuss The Last Boy Scout, which came out today, was released in the United States 13 December 1991, and this movie hits 30th year anniversary, which I watched last night. I couldn't review it last night. I know in movie theater, I think was premiered December 12, but this was December 13, which came out. Written and directed, written was by Shane Black, directed by Tony Scott. Rest in peace, Tony Scott. He passed away 2012. And this is one of my all-time favorite movies of all time. I did review this film this year, but some dickhead gave me a dislike. He gave me a dislike to Hard Boiled, to The Killer. Those movies I reviewed, I had to take them out because I was unhappy. And I tried to re-upload the video again, but I couldn't because I did not save it in my computer. It was 360p, and my videos has to be 1000p, otherwise they're unwatchable. So I couldn't re-upload that video again because the guy gave me a dislike. But today has been 13 December 2021, which The Last Boy Scout hit 30th year anniversary. And in case if something happens to my channel, this video is gonna be uploaded again, and it's gonna be 30th year anniversary. Even if you see, oh, it's actually now a different different date. It's actually because it's been recorded today, but it's probably gonna be re-uploaded in a different channel. Maybe it's gonna re-upload it again because I'm gonna get a dislike. Because people hate this movie, and you know, someone gave me to dislike to Connor. I deleted the video, upload again. He gave me again dislike to Connor. I guess this movie isn't popular like the other movies. But now, The Last Boy Scout stars Bruce Willis and of course Damon Wayans. And for those people who know, I love Bruce Willis to death. I love him to death. I have actually a poster right there, you know, Die Hard with a Vengeance. I have a poster right there, but fuck it, I'll just show you the poster from close. You know, the poster. To those who know, I'm a huge fan of Bruce Willis, and this is my favorite Die Hard film. I used to have the poster of the first Die Hard, which was large, if you watch my reviews, but sadly that poster was ruined. I actually then bought this one. It was kind of really expensive. The first one was kind of cheap because someone paid me. Someone actually went and he sold me cheaper. This poster cost me $40 with of course it was 40 euros, which of course we got, you know, which of course we got the shipment plus the shipment was actually paid a lot, and I think was the well, doesn't matter. The custom service had to be paid, the shipment had to be paid, and this poster cost me a lot of money, $40, which was really costed. But I got it, I put it in a frame, and everyone knows that my favorite Die Hard film, which my title, you know, is Rambo McClane for Life, which I'm a huge fan of Die Hard franchise. I'm a huge fan of Rambo franchise. I'm a huge fan of Die Hard franchise. And Bruce Willis is definitely one of my favorite action heroes, one of my favorite action stars. People are saying he's an actor. He's to me an action star. And The Last Boy Scout was actually his first film that I saw. But this is my favorite Die Hard film, my favorite Bruce Willis film. I love the guy to death. Well, I want to show you this poster up close. You know, this is how it looks like. I'm not gonna change this poster ever again. I know I actually I took the off, I actually did took the I actually took the Rambo posters off, you know. Not in the against, I love Rambo films, but I love Die Hard films too, and I love Bruce Willis. Now, I'm only gonna put this back. Now, everyone knows that I'm a huge fan of Bruce Willis. I love Die Hard films, they're my favorite, but Die Hard Avengers is my favorite. And if I go with, actually, I have not done a lot of Bruce Willis reviews on this channel, except the last Boy Scout I reviewed this movie. This has actually been now the 4th time I'm reviewing this film. I did a review twice on my channel. No, actually, no, that's the 3rd one. Last year I reviewed the film. And I reviewed this year, around February, March, I reviewed until some dickhead gave me a dislike. And now I'm reviewing this film again, the 3rd time. And what I say about The Last Boy Scout, you already know a lot, you know, it's actually written like a buddy comedy, I think it was the body cop comedy. It wasn't a buddy cop, it's because, but Bruce Willis, he's Joe Hallenbeck, disgraced former Secret Service, now a private investigator. His name is Joseph Cornelius Joe Hallenbeck. And if you ask him why couldn't that's his second name, tell someone. If you tell someone, I'll kill you. My name, Danger's my middle name. Mine's Cornelius. Tell someone, I'll kill you. I love that. Touch me again and I'll kill you. I told you, if you touch me, I'll kill you. I love the guy. He gets smacked around like around his face. He's a badass. And one of my favorite characters. And this is actually one of the movies that Bruce Willis is smiling a lot. He's smiling a lot. I miss those kind of, you know, when he knows how to act, he smiles. And I have read that these two did not get along. They hated working each other. I don't mind that. But Bruce Willis, he smiled. He did a fantastic job on the acting performance. Now Shane Black, I really do miss him. You know, Hawkins from Predator. He wrote a screenplay for Lethal Weapon, the first movie. He did a screenplay for this movie. He described Joe Hallenbeck like him because he took a break from writing for 2 years. And I think he worked on the script, and he worked on the script, and I think he sold the script for $1 million, or was $1.5 million. And I did read that Tony Scott, over the years when this movie released, Tony Scott and Shane Black discussed that the original cut was much better than the theatrical cut that was released. I don't give a fuck. I love this movie to death. I don't give a fuck if it was a really good cut. I enjoy this cut. I don't give a fuck what those people have to say. I don't want to see a director's cut of The Last Boy Scout. Watch Rocky 4. Rocky vs. Drago, the fucking director's cut. And now suddenly I heard, oh, Stallone's gonna do Rocky 3 cut. You know, Stallone, why don't you just do Rocky 1, 2, 5, 6, but actually Balboa, Creed 1 and 2, director's cut. Do all those cuts. You know, the best thing to go and do a director's cut of Rhinestone. You know, I'm so upset with the actor. He's a terrible filmmaker nowadays, Stallone. I mean, what the fuck is doing this man? But now to The Last Boy Scout. I love this movie to death. And it's been like 30 years anniversary. It hit. It's one of my personal favorite action films. I would definitely say Die Hard: The Vengeance right there. Die Hard and this movie will be definitely my top 3 favorite Bruce Willis movies. Honestly, this was the first film I saw as a kid. Actually, the first Bruce Willis film before I even saw the Die Hard films. I actually saw this film first. Definitely one of my all-time favorite Bruce Willis movies. And now as you know, Joe Hallenbeck, Joseph Cornelius Joe Hallenbeck, is actually a down and former Secret Service agent. And of course, he's now actually a private investigator. And he gets hired by Halle Berry. Yes, Halle Berry from John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, from... she did a lot of movies from that movie that I rented. James Bond, Pierce Brosnan movie, the fourth one he did. Fuck that movie. It's such a abomination that I forgot. Die Another Day, that garbage. She was in that movie. Anyway, Halle Berry's character, she's a stripper. Corey, she hires 2 private investigators. And of course, I forgot the guy, but I have them written right here. Mike Matthews, played by Jack Dalton from MacGyver. Bruce McGill, he plays Mike Matthews. Mike is actually Joe Hallenbeck's best friend and partner. He's been hired, and he gives the assignment for $500 to his partner Joe Hallenbeck, which I'll get into it soon. And so when Joe Hallenbeck decides to help, he takes the assignment, the case. He doesn't know anything, but he gets involved in a murder. Yes, he gets involved in a murder because the girl gets killed, and he came too late. The girl gets killed, so he teams up with this great former NFL quarterback. The NFL by the Italian Stallions, Jimmy Dix, or was James Jimmy Dix, former NFL quarterback by the Italian Stallions. He was a quarterback by the Italian Stallions. He got actually shot out of the league because he was hooked up on coke and on Demerol because of the pain. Because Corey was actually his girlfriend and he loved her. He wants to find out who's responsible for the death, so he goes and teams with Joe and asks him to help him out. Like, he has little pants for like $650, little pants. But what those 2 guys does not know is actually they actually going to blow the lead of illegal sports gambling ring, and everyone behind them, is actually Sheldon Marcone, played by Noble Willingham, who was in Chuck Norris, C.D. Parker, rest in peace, Noble Willingham, Sheldon Marcone. He's actually the owner of the Italian Stallion Club, and he's doing illegal gambling, and he has everyone in the pocket except Senator Baynard. I think it was Senator Baynard, played by Chelsea Ross. Senator Baynard was the reason why Joe Hallenbeck got fired, because he broke a few of his teeth out. Because Baynard was torturing and beating and raping a young girl, and Joe saved her, but he lost his career. And since then, he's alcoholic. He sleeps in a car, and he still works. And what I love about the character, that's not only interested, and not only that Bruce Willis does a professional job, that he smiles. He's a human being like you and me. And before I continue, so with the help of some C4, a full mounted little anti-blossom, yeah, so with C4 that goes on a stadium that they want to blow up, the stadium with Senator Baynard, and they want to frame Joe Hallenbeck. They want to frame him, to make him to make him a fall guy. And of course, both of them, they have to prevent the murder of Senator Baynard. Yes, he's a dick, but he doesn't deserve to die, especially that Joe gets framed for a murder. And I actually really love, because they both involved in a murder mystery, extortion, murder, and of course political assassination, which they both involved in a murder involved in this case. And of course Jimmy Diggs wants to solve the murder of his dead girlfriend, while Joe Hallenbeck, he's a private investigator, and he has to do whatever he has to do for a living. And like in the first Die Hard movie, we see Bruce Willis smoking. I think Bruce Willis was not a smoker. He was actually smoking the fake cigarettes. But in this movie, Joe smokes a lot. He smokes a lot. He also drinks a lot. But what I love that he's a hardworking man. His daughter fucking hates him. She hates his guts. Danielle Harris, I read that that's actually her favorite character is still, I forgot, Darian. I think it's Darian Hallenbeck. Darian Hallenbeck is actually her favorite character still. I mean, why no one asks her, oh hey, how was working with on The Last Boy Scout? Everyone talks about it her on Halloween 4 and 5. I want to talk about, I would like to ask the actress how was working with The Last Boy Scout. I was working with Bruce Willis that time. And I love her lines, yes sir, her asshole. And she says, oh, I hate you. I just missed the best party of the year. What happened to her face? Oh my god, it speaks. What happened to his face? I love that, I'm always like that. Or when Joe Hallenbeck shows that those ice cream out, Oh, I wish I would remember write those lines. And he says, you're a fuck up. Mom calls you. You're in my house. You're gonna respect me. My mom calls you with Uncle Jay. Uncle Jay, why should call me a fuck up? On the phone with Uncle Jay. Uncle Jay, so that is a real guy. Ask her why Mr. Perfect is not for tax simulation. Because he didn't fuck up. I love that. Chelsea Field from Commando. She was a stewardess, plays Joe Hallenbeck's wife, Sarah Hallenbeck. Fantastic. She was the same year, she did Harley Davidson, The Marlboro Man. I think she filmed that movie in 1990, was released in 1991. But yeah, she was in Halle Berry's Marlboro Man. She was in Commando. She was in this movie. Chelsea Field was in this movie. I wish she would be in this movie, but she wasn't. I wish that I would remember other her movies that Chelsea Field was in it, but she was awesome as Sarah Hallenbeck. She was awesome. Writer was actually, the story was based on Shane Black, his own experience, and Greg Hicks, directed by Tony Scott. And I think my favorite Tony Scott is Beverly Hills Cop 2. This will be my second favorite Tony Scott he did. I miss the director. He did an awesome job. Shane Black wrote a screenplay, but Shane Black, Greg Hicks wrote a story. Shane Black, helped to do. I really do miss Shane Black, that in the 90s or in the 80s, and he wrote a screenplay for Little Weapon. It was because of him, Little Weapon got 3 sequels. It got a TV series. It spawned a TV series because of Shane Black. The Predator sucked. I don't know what happened to so awesome writer. He was Hawkins, but he wrote something garbage. And I know that some people are complaining about Iron Man 3. I like Iron Man 3. I will put above second one. But some people complain because of Shane Black. I don't know what happened to the awesome writer nowadays. I don't know what. But I miss this kind of movies. And The Last Boy Scout is one of the best 90s action films, in my opinion. I have not done a lot of Bruce Willis movies on this channel, but I'm gonna start making them. And if I'll see a dislike, I'll upload this movie again. So yes, once again, it's December 13, 2021. It's been 30th anniversary. This movie hits the mark, 30th anniversary. I did for Batman, for the poster that you see there, 32th anniversary. I actually did for Out for Justice, 30th anniversary. I'm not gonna do for The Last Boy Scout, the movies I enjoy. I love The Last Boy Scout, one of my favorite action films. Last year, I actually listed The Last Boy Scout in my top 10 favorite movies, and I got a dislike, and people were making fun of me. Oh, The Last Boy Scout, you listed in your top 10. Yes, I wrote a badass film. Some dickhead gave me a dislike for writing a badass film. The same was with Con Air. I'm surprised Eraser did not hit a dislike, but I'm sorry, this is my movie. I enjoy it. It's rated there. It's an action film. It's a badass film. It's an awesome film. It's very original, entertaining flick. Seth and Moore keeping the role, you're all crazy. This pen stepping off. It's actually vision. I love that they're actually the ball. You know, they're actually the ball game. They're actually both on the ball game. I love lines, you know, I love actually Joe's lines, you know, hey, they're good. Hey, they're good, Mike. I love that scene. Water is wet, the sky is blue. Be prepared, son. That's my motto. Be prepared. I forgot to tell you, bomb means fuck you in Polish. Danger is my middle name. Mine's Cornelius. You tell anybody, I'll kill you. This was filmed in 90 days, March 11. And of course, I love the soundtracks in the open scene. You know, Friday Night's a great night for football by Bill Medley. That's the open scene. Moody River, Pat Boone on the finale. Water's wet, sky's blue. Be prepared, son. Be prepared. That's my motto. And I love that song. Moody River, you know. Moody River. Love that song. I wanna be a cowboy, you know, when boys don't cry, when Bruce Willis in this striptease club protecting his client, and that's the song that time when Jimmy Dix shows up and says to nobody, shh, don't tell anybody. And he wants to know what he's doing with Corey, and he said, I'm a private investigator. Jimmy Dix, a wasted talented youth. At least I'm not on the coke. Why don't you hit me? You know, just hit me. Joe Hallenbeck. And he wants to hit him. And Bruce Willis goes, catches his fist, throws it on the floor. And he grabs Scott and says, stay away in the cage, monkey. I love the quotes. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. Everybody hates you. You're gonna lose. Smile, you fuck. I can't impersonate Bruce Willis, but I would love to do that. Just once, I would like to hear you scream in pain. Play some rap music. I'm fuckface, he's an asshole. I'm fuckface, he's an asshole. I think I fuck a squirrel and I don't do that and I don't remember. Touch me again, I'll kill you. I told him, touch me again, I'll kill you. The actor, I forgot this guy who was actor. He was so many movies. Kim Coates. He was in so many movies. He plays Chet. And Bruce Willis says, he goes and punches in the face. His smoke falls on the floor. I drop my cigarette. Can I get another one? He gives him a smoke. He punches him again, you know. And Bruce Willis stands up, you know. First he says, touch me again, I'll kill you. He goes and punches him again. He spits blood, stands up, punches him with the fucking head right in the fucking nose. Broke his nose. Fucking kills him. I told him. And he lied. I love that scene. But yeah, I love that scene. And The Last Boy Scout, you know, what I love about the film is also the action. Number of times a character is struck by another character, 31, you know, 9 being applied to Joe Hallenbeck, which is like 9 times he's smacked in the face. He's been smacked in the face, in his nose, like those two guys, you know, shows up. Those two guys, they actually shows up, and those two guys that actually shows up, you know, with the car. And Joe Hallenbeck puts the C4 explosion in the trunk, and he wants to find the tape, you know, in which Corey blackmailed the most important businessman, Sheldon Marcone. And you know, Bruce Willis gets smacked in the face with a gun, and Damon Wayans says, "Leave him alone," and the guy kicks him in the balls. Which I love that scene. and he says, okay, it's in the truck, throws the keys. The guy shoots in the truck. Explosion, practical done explosion, real explosion, practical done explosion. You know, why? Fuck the CGI. CGI, why can't they do practical explosions nowadays like in this movie? You know, why can't we get practical explosions like nowadays? I did read it that maybe it couldn't be possible if the bullet will hit the C4 explosion, except the detonator, then it will explode. But I don't care. It's a fantastic action. The whole car flips over. Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans flips down the hill. That was awesome scene. It has tons of action. I can personally the quotes when Joe shows up home, you know, he sleeps in the car, you know, he's actually more realistic. This movie is more realistic. He sleeps in the car, he wakes up with those kids, one of them shows him a dead squirrel in it, the other tries to steal his watch, and Joe grabs him with his gun, points his gun, and he finds the fucking squirrel, and we also listen to the song Moody River, but of course I love his gun, Smith & Wesson Model 19 Super Revolver, Beretta, I think was 6 bullets, that's the gun that he was using, you know, 6 with Smith & Wesson, I think was 38, Smith & Wesson Model 19. I love that scene, and he finds out that his best friend, you know, his partner, sorry about that, his partner goes and he was screwing his wife, you know, he's screwing his wife and ask him how many fingers in the cut from his wife. Oh, it just happened, your dick just landed in my wife. And you know, and I know when Sarah says you want to you fuck up, you still ask, I'm gonna put a bullet to the closet. 2, 3, 1. You still open 2, you know, and he wants to blow the closet, and she says, Joe, the gun, hold the gun, and he points, shoots right in the picture, you know, when he married her. I love that scene. And I love when Mike goes in the car, another explosion, car gets blown to pieces. It goes to pieces. I mean, pieces. It blows to pieces. Practical effect. I mean, they don't make that anymore. You know, great explosion, fantastic explosion. And Sarah goes, Joe, and he's still alive, you know. And I love it because he didn't mention that she was screwing his best friend, and she says, I will only buy a dog. And I was going to buy a dog. You know, I don't hate you, Joe. You hate yourself. Why did you tell me that? Fuck you, Sarah. I want to spin on you. I love that scene. Another scene was, like I said, in the club when Jimmy tries to punch him. Bruce Willis throws him on the floor. There's this guy, there's this black gorilla guy, Buddy Adiola, he actually passed away. That black guy hits him with a bottle, grabs him in the alley, tries to shoot him, and Bruce Willis grabs that bottle, stabs him right in the neck, grabs his gun, and the guy says, "Oh, you bastard!" And then some. I love that scene. I love his line. His one line. It's that some. He grabs the Beretta, 92mm goes with the Beretta, and his revolver, his Smith & Wesson special 32 revolver, and Beretta in his hand. And because I love when Damon Wayans says, "I'm gonna bitch slap him," Damon Wayans and Corey, they both drive with the car, and gunmans with a Heckler Koch machine guns that are used in Little Weapon goes and hits in Corey, shoots her to death. They try to shoot. They go and try to shoot Jimmy Dix, but they miss him because he's hiding in the car. And that time, Bruce Willis, the 2 guys, shows up and runs and goes like a badass he is and shoots the bad guys. Boom, boom, shoots the bad guys. He shoots the bad guys. Damon Wayans grabs the car. He smashes the bad guy. And Bruce Willis goes with his revolver right in the fucking head, shoots him. And that's, hey, says, back up. He goes back up with the car. I love that scene. I love that scene. Joe Santos is in this movie from MacGyver. Another one from MacGyver. Joe Santos was in this movie from MacGyver. Eraser. He played. He actually played Basello. He played Basello. He played Basello. There was also Clarence Fielder played McCoskey. I think he was the detective. Frank Collison played Pablo. You know, when and I love this bad guy. I never remember the actor who played Milo. Tyler Negron. He was awesome as Tyler. He as Milo. Tyler Negron as Milo was awesome. Like when the detective shows up and says, "Is any problem?" Yes, it is, officer. This guy has too many bullets. Shoots him, you know, and says, "Bad boy, Joseph. You kill a cop." Throws the gun, frame him, you know. I love the scene when Bruce Willis finds out that Cheddar McCone, the owner of the Italian Stallions, the NFL, you know, and of the football, he's actually illegal sport gambling rig. He owns an illegal gambling sports rig. And by the senator boarding, you know, he has everything in the pocket except Senator Bennett. Senator Bennett was $6 million. Or he goes to the cops. He has everything in the pocket except him. So now he finds out that it's going to be cheap to kill the bastard, and they're going to frame Joe Hallenbeck the murderer because he had a problem with him, because he caught him a few times. He broke his nose and his teeth. That's one of the reasons. It's actually a illegal sports gambling, murder, extortion, name it, you know, all the crimes, you know, name it. And of course, you know, and Jimmy Diggs decides when Milo, Pablo, and the other guy, Chad, they grab Damon Wayans, throws him out of the bridge. He lands on the car. Okay, Dangerous middle name falls down, you know, and he's being questioned by the cops. He goes back from the police station. He goes, you know, with Darian. He goes with Joe's daughter. He goes and follows the bodyguards from Senator Baynard. And I love my favorite scene in this movie will be actually in the woods, you know, in the forest. This scene in the woods, you know, when there's a bunch of gunmen, and I love when Milo says, "Excuse me, did everyone frisk this fuck? Maybe he's a cop." You know, they frisk him, they frisk him, you know. "Did any one of you frisk this fuck? He could be a cop." I love that. And when Bruce Willis, you know, he gives him a briefcase, they make pictures to frame him. Or there's a scene when Jimmy Diggs follows them, he gets captured. They're gonna both shoot in the woods. That's definitely my favorite scene. I watched this movie non-stop in high school, and I remember the scene in the woods. And of course, you know, and of course in the woods, Darian shows up with that puppet, you know, with the teddy bear, with those puppet. Shows that puppet gives actually Bruce Willis in the hand, and he makes some jokes, and he grabs in the puppet. In the puppet, you know, actually in the woods is actually his revolver. He goes, shoots the bad guy. Damon Wayans hits the guy with the shotgun, and he blows his own guy to pieces. And I love it. He grabs the gun, shoots all the bad guys. They escape. They go in a car. They actually drive a white car. I think a white car. There was a cabriolet, or was Corvette, you know, white car. It doesn't matter. It was a white car. Another car. They flip over. Yes, they flip over the cliff. The black car and the white car, they flip over the cliff. Great action sequence with the car chases. That Bruce Willis Bruce Willis, and of course Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, and Danielle Harris. They both hit in I think it was the tree or the wall. But Milo and his man, they fall. Actually, they both fall in the pool. Love that scene. And Bruce Willis goes, shoots them. He steals the briefcase, with the money, but the bombs he forced go in the LA stadium. So he says, back up, but we go to a ball game. They go to those bodyguards try to stop them. Damon Wayans rides bomb. The guy shoots them. And I forgot to tell you something. Bomb means fuck you in Polish. They go and stop them. I don't know why was there a stuntman who jumps, who shoots on the car and jumps. It was a stuntman. But when the bodyguard shows up, from the car, it was Bruce Willis who goes. And Tony Scott did such a great job directing, he did so slow motion, like Bruce Willis goes with the gun, shoots the bad guy. I love that scene. Love the blood squibs, the slow motion. I love that. I actually love that, love the blood squibs, the slow motion that Tony Scott put in it. So yeah, Milo calls them, and says, "Hey, motherfucker, someone wants to talk to you." And of course, Dad is now been kidnapped. His daughter's been kidnapped. They both go to now to the game, and of course, Joe says, when this is gonna be over, I'm going to dance jig. Of course, Jimmy forgot to tell him that he actually has been looking for a murder for a police officer. I actually do love that scene when this guy, when Jimmy Diggs went and broke the guy's nose with the football ball. This football ball, when she throws in the nose, it says, "I was the best national player in the league, you fat son of a bitch." And I love that scene, and when this guy grabs him, "Hey, Jimmy Diggs, you showed out of the game, you shouldn't be here, you broke my nose." And he goes to the shotgun and says, "I have a bad day, let me go in." And I love when Bruce Willis says, he goes and says, "Have a nice game." And I love that they go in the apartment. And I love the scene when Shadow McCone grabs the gun, shoots Damon Wayans right in the hand, and of course, he grabs those key that actually explodes, throws it up fire, explodes, and like the guy, one of the shooters gets thrown the flame. Great practical effect. Bruce Willis grabs a shotgun, Mossberg 500, 12-gauge shotgun, goes and shoots the bad guy. The guy falls in the TV screens, falls and goes. And I love the scene when Damon Wayans grabs the shotgun and blows the guy's knee out, and Shadow McCone escapes, and the audience now saved. All three they escape. I love when Jimmy Diggs lands in the stadium, because Milo is now between the lines and he's aiming with a sniper rifle and tries to shoot Senator Boehner, and Jimmy goes to the horse and goes to this two football players, says, "Give me the ball, give me the ball." He gives it the ball, says, "Thank you," runs with the horse, throws, says, "Get the fuck down." Senator Boehner stands, smiles with the girl, he grabs the ball, throws the ball, and Milo shoots right in the skids the ball, and you see a great blood skid by Senator Boehner. And the Bruce Willis is on the meter, and the guy in Milo grabs, he actually throws the gun in him, uses a knife, and I love when Bruce Willis says, "I told you, if you touch me, I'll kill you." He hits him, he goes and fights, hits him, he uses that karate kick, kicks him right in the stomach. In that time, but Snappers gets scared, and Bruce Willis says, "Don't me." And then when it's over, he starts dancing jig. That's why I remember this movie. He starts dancing jig. And then, of course, he's been, and I love the final scene when this guy, shows up Senator Boehner says, "This is the guy who arrested me. Arrest him." And I love when Bruce Willis shows up and says, "Excuse me." Punches in the fucking face, in the stomach, the face. I love that scene there. I love I actually love when Besalo he asked where was actually the briefcase. He told me, you know, earlier, you know, this guy, Sheldon McCall shoots the glass and grabs the briefcase. But when he opens the briefcase, actually C4, and he explodes the dogs to pieces, you know. At that time, they both smile, you know, with Sarah. Sarah says, "I'm gonna buy me a dog." And yeah, they actually really, by the finale, she's now staying with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis needs a razor. He was shaved. And by the finale, you know, he goes and says, "I'm gonna need a partner." He and Jimmy are walking, and like the movie is now over, and it was really beautiful. So 1 hour 45 minutes long. This fast-paced. By the finale, we got the Moody River, and I love the final scenes when Bruce Willis says, "Water's wet, sky's blue. Be prepared, son. Be prepared. That's my motto." Or I forgot Satan Klaus when Darren wrote, you know, or the scene when he was Secret Service and he was shot. He said the president. Michael Kamen once again returned for the music score from the Die Hard trilogy. Once again, this movie is rated there. Even though they hated each other, they work well. But Bruce Willis is the one that's my favorite. His character, you know, Joe Hallenbeck's my favorite. There's a scene I forgot to mention. He goes when Jimmy and Joe are in his house talking, and Jimmy, he goes on the bathroom, says, "I want to shower," but actually he's using those drugs, those cokes. And when Bruce Willis finds out, you know, he goes, punches him, grabs those drugs, throws in the toilet, throws out, and says, "Hey, did it cost me $100,000? Says, "I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out of my house before I break your goddamn neck." You know, I need this. I need this. How I get by. And I love that scene when he says, "How I get by." I love that scene because he's a straight. You know, I love the character because he's straight. He's honest. He's straight. He's a working guy. And yes, he's alcoholic, but he's not a junkie. Yeah, he threw the drugs away because he wanted nothing to do with drugs. He's a straight guy, working guy. His wife hates him. His daughter hates him. She calls him, "Yes, sir, asshole." You're a fuck up. Gosh, you're such a fuck up. You're not gonna call me a fuck up. Mom calls you. Since when she called me? On the phone with Uncle Jay. With Uncle Jay. Why don't she tell you why he's actually Mr. Wonderful, perfect, as a real stand-up guy with a fuck up? Why don't you ask him why he's not even accused for a tax evasion? Because he didn't fuck up. There's a scene when Darian watches Little Weapon, which Shane Black wrote it on the TV. When Bruce Willis grabs the remote control, turns the TV. It's actually the scene when Mel Gibson been tortured by Gary Busey. And like I said, that was written by Shane Black, directed by Richard Donner, Little Weapon. It's just a lot of scenes, you know, especially the action sequences are definitely my favorite, when both the cars flies and jumps on the cliff, and like the other car falls down in the water. Great explosions, like the guy shoots with a gun, with a bullet, you know, C4, a whole car explodes, and whole car car in the flames, you know, starts flying in front Bruce Willis Demon Wade's head. Great explosion, practical done effects. I love the lines. I love how Bruce Willis acts, you know, how he smiles. I miss those kind of how Bruce Willis acted. I miss that. Why this movie gets hate is beyond me. I don't understand why this movie gets hate. Now, to the rest of the facts, Shane Black did a fantastic job writing the film. He sold the script. He did a fantastic job. I love Bruce Willis, huge fan of him. I love the lines, they two fallen heroes up against the gambling syndicate in pro sports. Everything had counted them out, but they're about to get back in the game. The goal is to survive. I love that. I love the taglines. The budget cost $43 million worldwide, $59 million. Definitely one of the greatest action films in my opinion from the 90s. Definitely my favorite Bruce Willis film. Damon Wayans trained with Los Angeles Raiders quarterback Vince Evans in preparation for his role as a former NFL quarterback. Was opening weekend was $7 million in US and Canada, but made $59 million worldwide, also in US and Canada. It wasn't such a huge successful this film, but still good when the songs work. I wanna be a cowboy. The cast did a great job. Bruce Willis acted perfectly. I love his character, Joe Hallenbeck. Joe Hallenbeck is definitely one of the most underrated action heroes, definitely forgotten heroes, just like Marion Cobretti. Jimmy Diggs, Damon Wayans did an awesome job. I watched him this year in Little Weapon series, the first 2 seasons. I could not finish the third one, it was so terrible. But yeah. Tyler Negron as Milo, the bad guy, as the second bad guy was awesome. He was fantastic. Noble villain here. He was. I forgot to mention. I did a review. Silent Rage. I think it was Silent Rage with Rutger Hauer. He played the bad guy in that movie. He played the bad guy in this movie. Sheldon McCone. He was perfect as a bad guy. As the owner of the club, the Italian Stallions, the NFL pro football sports. He was awesome. Billy Blanks as this movie as Billy in the open scene when he's pressured by Milo that he has to go and make goals, scores. He grabs the gun, shoots in the head to his opponents. The other one, I think he shoots him in the leg. Then he grabs, the helmet and says, "Hey, it ain't life as a bitch," and blow his brains out. I read that they filmed a few times that scene. In another scene, Billy Blanks actually said, "I want to go to Disneyland," and blows his head off, but that was cut. So he said, "In life a bitch," and he blows his head off because he was under pressure. Chelsea Ross as Senator Baynard, I like him, he did a good job. Danielle Harris, fantastic, she was awesome, she was fantastic as they had in Halle Berry. Yes sir, hood asshole, yes sir, asshole. Gosh, you're such a fuck up. I hate you, I just lost, I just missed the best part of the year. Man, people, they don't make them like this. This movie is rated R. Bruce Willis has been smacked so many times in the head. I miss those kind of movies, man. Such a badass, cool, awesome movie. I miss this kind of movies, man. Why we can't get movies like this anymore? I miss those kind of movies. The Last Boy Scout. One of my all-time favorite movies from Bruce Willis. Yes, I said it. The goal is to survive. This is rated R for graphic violence and very strong language. It has rated R scenes. There is also yeah, I love that twist that Joe and Jimmy begin to investigate further and discover layers of corruption. Professional football crisis. leading up to Sheldon Marcone, a corrupt team owner who wants to pay off legislators to legalize gambling on pro football games. Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans, to me, make a good team. They make a good team. I also love the trailer. I love the trailer. I love Prince. And Bruce Willis smiles. I love the trailer. I love the trailer to death. I love the song, Moody River. There was a video that someone did, an action scenes he put on it with Moody River. But definitely, this is definitely one of the best, my opinion, the best action film. From the 90s, definitely it's there. Out for Justice I did, it came out, Terminator 2 Judgment Day came out. I'll put this movie over Terminator 2 Judgment Day. No, because it's not because it's bad, it's because I enjoy the film. I watched this film. I watched it last night. I watch this movie every year. And the reason why I did not do another review is because I've been waiting December in which I wanted to do, because this movie marked 30-year anniversary. This is 30-year anniversary review, and this movie I think is underrated. I think it's a forgotten movie. I think this movie did not got nothing, no praise. The most praise that got is Die Hard because it's a Christmas movie. But what about The Last Boy Scout? I think it's a forgotten movie. I think people hate on it. I think people shit on it. I got hate because I reviewed this film. Yes, I got hated. I got hated because I said that I love this movie to death, that I enjoy. You know what? This movie, I'm always gonna talk. I'm gonna review so many times this movie, and that people are gonna stop attacking me and saying, okay, it's your movie, I hate it. But to each own, I love this movie. I love this movie. It's an awesome film. It's a fantastic film. Back in high school, I watched the most were Die Hard, The Vengeance, right there. This movie and the first Die Hard. Those three movies I watched for Bruce Willis the most. I also did watch his other movies like The Fifth Element, of course, the movie Striking Distance. I actually kind of enjoy, like I said, I enjoy The Fifth Element a lot much better. The Last Boy Scout. I'm not talking all four Die Hard movies I love to death. I enjoy more than Striking Distance. Sin City I love. I'm gonna review that movie too. And I'm gonna review a few his other 9 films. Red 1 and 2 I love to death. Hostage I love. I think it's another underrated film. But The Last Boy Scout, they don't make them like this anymore. It's a shame that Tony Scott is no longer with us. Top Gun, True Romance, I'm not a fan of that film, but True Romance, Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, The Last Boy Scout, The Enemy of the State. He did all those he did all those movies. I really do miss Tony Scott, the brother of Ridley Scott. I miss him so much, but he did great review. He did a great job, in this movie. He did a fantastic direction. Shane Black and of course Tony Scott, they had to do a cuts. This movie with the violence and the action scenes, was also cut just like was movie right there, Demolition Man, Tango and Cash, and of course this movie it suffered from the cuts. Cats. It was suffered from the cuts from MPA because I think the movie, I'm not really entirely sure, but I think this movie, I think it got rated X. They actually did rated R or sensitive 17 for graphic violence, so they actually had to cut a few scenes. We'll love to see the director's the latest scenes, but I'm just fine with how we got. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see director's cut. I don't want to see that this movie will be butchered just like was Rocky IV. I don't want to see that. I also love this title. I love the song by Bill Medley. I love that song by Bill Medley. A great night for football. A great Friday nights, a great night for football by Bill Medley. I love that song. I love that song. Friday night for great football. I can't sing like Big Belly, but I love the open scene. Awesome open scene. I love the title. I love the poster. I mean, I love the poster. I love the poster. I actually love the poster. It's awesome. I love this movie to death, man. I love this movie. I love this movie. It just speaks to me. I love this movie. I love The Last Boy Scout. I love the Die Hard films. I love The Fifth Element, Sin City, Hostage, Red 1 and 2 by Bruce Willis. All four Die Hard I love to death. My favorites: Die Hard, The Vengeance, and Die Hard 1, the first one. I love Lovely Frio Die Hard, Die Hard 2. I love all four Die Hard films. Those movies I enjoy from Bruce Willis. And I'm also gonna try to review Mercury Rise. I have not seen quite a while that movie, but I'll try to review that film. But yeah, it's almost an hour that I'm actually in the video. I know nobody's gonna watch it. Almost 56 minutes in the review, and my thoughts and my in-depth and my thoughts on the discussion on The Last Boy Scout. But anyway, that's my review. Actually, it's my 30 years anniversary review on The Last Boy Scout. I love this movie to death. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you soon in a few movies, which I'm gonna review a few Bruce Willis movies soon. I'm gonna be end of the week. I'm gonna be on holiday. I'm gonna have a vacation, so I'm gonna do a few Bruce Willis reviews that I have not seen, like Tears of the Sun, Mercury Rising, have not seen for a while. Maybe I'm not a fan of The Sixth Sense. Maybe I'm gonna try to review that film too, but I'll see. But I'll review a few Bruce Willis movies. Anyway, I'm out. Peace. Take care. See ya.